When Ellie and Riley kissed in the DLC of the original Last of Us game, incels were so freaking mad. Grown men finding out that 14-year-old Ellie wouldn't have been attracted to them really pissed them off. Then, the first teaser trailer for the second game drops on YouTube, featuring an older, more mature Ellie kissing a racially ambiguous woman. You can imagine the backlash there. And then, the second game actually drops. Abby Anderson is revealed to be the anti-hero to Ellie's story. Incels are angrier than they have ever been. There were actually theories from alt-right gamers that Abby Anderson must be a trans woman because AFAB women apparently don't look like that. Despite all of this, the game developers laughed in their faces and stuck their heels in the dirt and said, "We aren't changing a single thing, and you should play a different game if you feel any type of way about it." Now, the Reddit reviews I used are meant to showcase what the male gaze demands, not generalize the male portion of the fandom. The game received overwhelmingly positive reviews, but once the show is produced, it seems like the people who had problems with the characters, how they acted, their sexualities, and how they looked ended up getting exactly what they wanted. With that in mind, let's talk about how HBO and Craig Mazin decided to change those aspects of the game in the popular 2023 and 2025 live-action TV remake of the game. Let's start with Abby, and before I get into this, we are going to be talking about a real woman's body, and I want to give the disclaimer that she is beautiful. There is nothing wrong with her body. This isn't me criticizing her. This is me criticizing the casting director's choice because I think that Abby being buff is really important. Okay. Caitlyn isn't skinny, but she's not buff.
Oh, bro.
Let me rephrase. To say that she has no muscle would be a lie, but to say that she isn't petite would also be a lie. The fact that Abby is huge in comparison to Ellie makes her more frightening. We know that Ellie can take care of herself, hurt and maim others, and do whatever she needs to do to get what she wants, but she loses to Abby based on pure brute strength. If it weren't for Lev telling Abby not to take her life, the game would have ended at the theater. Abby's build as a character is visual storytelling. Before she loses her dad, she isn't focused on gaining muscle or being strong, she's just living life. As normal as life can get when you're 20 years deep into the apocalypse. But then someone kills her dad and destroys the one chance at a vaccine that she fully believed that her dad could have created, and things change. She spends the next 5 to 10 years of her life preparing to kill Joel. She is hitting the gym. She wants to take this man's life with her bare hands if she has to, and then she succeeds. And when Ellie goes to try to get her lick back, Abby shuts it down. She says, "I better not see you and your little friends back here anytime soon," and dips. What makes this work is her stature. She towers over Ellie. She could crush her head like a watermelon between her thighs. She is a scary anti-hero. And not to mention, at the end of the game, spoiler alert, Abby is starved and ends up being emaciated. This ends up putting Ellie and Abby on equal footing for the final fight, but at this point, you're not really rooting for Ellie to get what she wants. The entire ending fight scene ends up being emotionally impactful because of this drastic change. All of this to say, her build isn't the most important thing about her character, but it is important. Now, let's talk about Dina and how her character in the show seems to be a little male-centered. From day one, Game Dina is devoted to Ellie. She does care about Jesse, but ultimately had stronger feelings for Ellie. As a wise commenter on TikTok said, Game Dina wanted Ellie so bad. She asked her out casually a few times, tried to talk to her, brought up their kiss. They're on patrol together, and the whole time Dina's like, "Hey Ellie, do you want to hang out later?" Dina is down bad. And if you have a functioning gaydar, you could sense it before they smoked a joint together. But in season 2 of the HBO show, her dialogue before her and Ellie sleep together is written to affirm that she still cares about Jesse rather than that she's interested in Ellie.
You're gay, I'm not. I'm just curious. You can go back to Jesse. I already did.
My Dina would never say that. And yes, Dina has always been bisexual, but Dina in the game would never allude to the idea that she isn't interested in Ellie. She'd never string Ellie along or toy with her or do this straight baiting banter to get a reaction out of her. Dina is devoted to Ellie from the moment we see her. Remember, she's down horrendous. And while we're on the topic of Dina, why and how is her hair always done? Part of the aesthetic of the games is the grunge. The characters are always muddy, their clothes are dirty and drenched in sweat. The girls with long hair never wear their hair down because they need to be ready to go at any moment. Meanwhile, in the show, it seems like they're showering every day. Their clothes are clean, Ellie has a 5-step skincare routine, Dina has a Dyson Airwrap and a makeup bag in her. What's going on? Why do they look so sanitized? And you may be thinking, what does this have to do with the male gaze? You SJW keyboard warriors love throwing that word around, blah 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 blah. Newsflash pal, I know what I'm talking about. The male gaze is an art form. It depicts women and the world from a masculine heterosexual perspective. It presents women as objects for the pleasure of viewing, and if they're not pleasurable or challenge the patriarchal status quo, then they must be changed. If Abby was so buff that patriarchal men were mad about it, she'll be less buff in the show. If Dina discentered men too much in the game, she'll talk about them more politely in the show. If Ellie was too aggressive and violent in the game, she'll show hesitancy and mercy in the show. If Tess ran shit too powerfully in the game, we'll demean her and assault her in the show. Knock her down a peg. I do not understand why they changed her death that way. It never happened again. It only happened to her. That's weird. This does not mean that every man who watches the show likes the adaptation. What it does mean is the show had rewritten queer aspects of its female characters that challenged the status quo, from how they act to how they look, to be more palatable for a conservative, heterosexual male audience. And before we reach the end of this analysis, I do want to bring up that the Bill and Frank storyline was very well done. The way that they handled that episode was great, and it squashed any of the skepticism regarding their relationship from the games. However, one right does not fix several wrongs. Credit where credit is due. Bill and Frank was done great, but also, this video is about women. Let's stay on track. Writing women for the male gaze means writing women as docile, petite, considerate, loving, and dull. And even when they try to make Dina a girl boss by having her lead the way to Abby, they have to rewrite Ellie as stupid to achieve this. Especially in the video game industry, this is a huge milestone that NaughtyDog not only hit, but crushed unapologetically. HBO actively writing these things out is a prime example of tailoring content for the male gaze, even if unintentionally. And unfortunately, I don't think they're going to fix this in season 3, and that's why I'm dropping the show now. You'll hear from me again when the 3rd game releases. In the meantime, thanks for watching this all the way through and for choosing my video of all the videos you could have watched. If you like what I'm spitting, like and subscribe. And if not, leave me a comment so I can make better stuff in the future. Bye!